the question was more about this car and the people involved in it. It's really actually a convoluted story because the owner of the car, I believe, was not prosecuted. Was not prosecuted because he did not know originally that it was a product of a bunch of different stolen parts. And this car was seized ultimately at Street Rod Nationals last year. Officers had identified it previously, being involved in street racing, not necessarily by this owner, and they identified it, was able to go get it while it was parked, and nobody was around. So that's why there's not any type of prosecution that came in conjunction with it.
If it's not legal for the streets, we will crush it.
Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a lot to unravel because Kentucky State decided to crush a $100,000 Dodge Durango Hellcat. And I'm going to kind of go over why I don't think the Kentucky State Police did their due diligence in determining if this was a stolen vehicle. For one, the vehicle is in one piece. For two, I'd love to hear from the owner of this Durango Hellcat. I'd also love to hear from the person that supposedly stole the Durango Hellcat. And I'd love to hear from the Kentucky State Police that supposedly stripped the Durango, then put it back together to determine if it was stolen. Also, on a side note, I do respect the police and what you guys do, but I do not respect politicians trying to push a narrative. Also, on a side note, I do not condone sideshows. If you do sideshows, I think you're not a car person and you probably should go get a job and stop stealing people's cars. Also, I don't think this Durango Hellcat was stolen. Plus, it had all the tread on the tires. So let's get to the real deal on what we're going to be talking about.
How do we know it had all these parts all across the country? So anytime these cars come in after we tow a car, so it was towed through investigative means. They were able to identify this car, locate it, and tow it. And then they run routine checks on it. And when the VIN numbers aren't matching up between the engine and the car, and the VIN numbers aren't matching up between the engine and the car, that's a red flag right away. That's a red flag right away. So the question is about concern for individuals who might be buying cars that are of stolen parts, and generally that does not happen. And I don't know how that purchase took place, but that is part of what happens when cars are insured and registered with each state. That's part of the reason why there are regulations like that, just to make sure that people are getting cars that are legally purchased, not stolen, as well as safe for the road.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
But in all honesty, most of these cars are pretty nice. I would rather seize them and put them in our fleet. So every car that we tow, we check for stolen to start off with. And so I'm not exactly sure how they ascertain that, but usually when the VIN numbers on different parts of the car don't match, it's what the FBI calls a clue.
So let's get right into it and why I think all the police departments across the whole United States aren't qualified to make the decision that there are stolen modules in a vehicle. I don't condone stealing parts. I buy all my cars from Copart and IAA. All the parts that I buy off of Facebook Marketplace, I run the VINs on NASTA to make sure that they are not stolen. The issue is what is the statute of limitation for that? There is a Fair Right to Repair Act in the United States, and that means that if I want to buy a part from Facebook Marketplace, eBay, or Copart, or wherever it may be, a salvage yard that bought a car from Copart, and something I have noticed is cars that I have bought from Copart or IAA that were stolen, if I run the VINs on NASTA, they still come up as stolen. So what is the statute of limitation? If I bought that car from Copart to part out to sell parts on eBay, I sell modules from the vehicles, if those modules, like this body control module that have a VIN coded on them, come up stolen, does that mean that those people's car is going to be pretty much stripped by the police department or crushed or whatever it may be, ran back through the auction because it's a stolen vehicle part? Or you could buy parts from the dealership that don't have a VIN number on it. Is that the only way that you can do it, is have the dealership work on your car, only have the dealership? Because then that would be a big problem with the Fair Right to Repair Act, wouldn't it? That would be a huge lawsuit for any state that has crushed a $100,000 Durango Hellcat and said that it was stolen parts on it, because where is the statute of limitation? And I think there's plenty of lawyers out there that are probably going to see this video now and are going to be like, is this a $10 million case? Is that guy going to get a brand new Durango Hellcat because the police crushed his vehicle because they technically sounded like they wanted to keep it? In multiple clips of the video, oh, we were trying to retain this vehicle as a fleet vehicle. We were trying to retain this vehicle as a fleet vehicle. Was the police just saying that it had stolen parts in it to keep the vehicle? And then somebody up higher wanted to make a demonstration of the vehicle, so then the police got the shaft, and they didn't get to keep the vehicle that they were saying had stolen parts. So I have stripped a lot of Dodge vehicles. I have stripped a lot of vehicles in my lifetime. I worked at a junkyard from college to the time I got a job as an engineer at Cummins, and I stripped probably over, I would say, 10,000 cars, maybe more. What I have laid out right here is almost all the modules from a Charger Hellcat. So in the video, the police said multiple times that the VINs didn't match the chassis VIN. So are the VINs not matching the chassis VIN, or are the VINs that were on the modules that didn't match the chassis VIN stolen modules? That's the big question here, and that's where the due diligence comes in. So I would say out of all these modules right here and all the missing modules that aren't here, it's a Dodge. All these modules will fail. And we're going to start with the one that is most commonly replaced, and this is the transmission TCM. The valve body bolts to this, or this bolts to the valve body bolts in the transmission. Like my silver Hellcat, the auction forklift punctured the oil pan, broke this. Luckily enough, I was able to save the chip inside of it that has the VIN number on it, so all the VINs are the same, but they are in an '08 Magnum, which doesn't match the chassis VIN.
And the VIN numbers aren't matching up between the engine and the car. That's a red flag right away.
So my question is, if I buy a used part from a salvage yard, Facebook Marketplace, or eBay, and the VIN doesn't match the chassis on any of these modules, does that mean the police are going to go and crush my vehicle or part it out or end up using it in their fleet and say it's stolen?
But in all honesty, most of these cars are pretty nice. I would rather seize them and put them in our fleet.
When it most likely might not be, because this is a commonly replaced part. So really, what are the police saying? Are they saying that there is no Fair Right to Repair Act and I have to go to Dodge and buy all brand new parts, where if I need a valve body or I need this TCM, I have to pay $5,000 to Dodge instead of going on eBay and paying $1,500 to $2,000 for a used one? Or if I need a transmission, I have to pay like $10,000 or $11,000 to Dodge instead of getting a used one for $4,500 or $6,000? I'm just kind of confused, because what's the statute of limitation? Because I know for a fact, I've seen it on the news, I've heard it from multiple people, I've seen videos on YouTube about it, that people will part cars out, or friends will steal cars for people, they'll part them out, they'll ditch the shell after they part the car out, and then they'll report it stolen. So really, those people are the original ones doing the illegal activity. What's the statute of limitation? Because the person that bought the parts in the first place are innocent. But how do you prove that you're innocent? Or do the police just say, well, that's a stolen part in your car, we're going to go crush your car? It's very confusing, because there is the Fair Right to Repair Act, but there's also statute of limitation to a lot of things. So when was the car stolen, and how long is a stolen part still stolen after it's stolen? It's the question. And who stole the part? You have a lot of kind of things that if it went in front of a jury, there's a lot of things that would lead to reasonable doubt in you guys being liable for crushing these cars. without the owner's permission or the insurance company's permission, or I think the bank and the insurance company would probably like a word with somebody crushing a $100,000 car without their permission, because they own the car, most likely. Everybody knows my striker green Durango Hellcat. And the thing about this is I put all the drivetrain and modules in my Charger Hellcat. So this technically, all these modules in this car have this VIN number. So if I get pulled over by a state patrol, are they going to confiscate and crush this car? That's the question. Am I safe? Are you safe? Is anybody with a car that's modified safe? And I have the brakes on it. I mean, everything is legit. And the thing about it is on these Durangos, I've seen police officers that are looking for VIN numbers. There's only one stamped VIN on Durangos, and it's right there. And then there's two stickers. There's one up here, and as you can see, mine's not there because I painted this cowl, and I'll have it replaced, but they're stickers. So the Durango really only has one stamped VIN on the whole chassis. So what's a fair right to repair? Because body shops are able to replace VIN numbers, and that's who I always have do all mine. And then the doors, when I paint the door, I want the jambs to be the same color, and I don't want to have to mask a sticker off. So I'll have the body shop do the sticker on the door too. This is all recorded on YouTube though. Like, everybody knows I got this from the auction. Everybody knows that it's the same chassis. It still has the factory stamping, but are they just making the law up as they go? The same thing with this car. This car is so many different cars and so many custom pieces. I mean, most of the parts are brand new from Dodge, but the roof is custom. The hatch is from an '08 Magnum, the top piece. Like, what is the statute of limitation? I mean, I have a seat that I bought from a guy off Facebook Marketplace out of an Alfa Romeo Quadrifoglio. Are you not allowed to put aftermarket seats in cars? The other thing is, none of these parts, like differentials, axles, any of this stuff, have VIN numbers on them. This doesn't have a VIN coded on it. There is no VIN number on there. It should read the same 8 as the same last 8. It does not. It should have like a asterisk. This has the part number. This should have like an asterisk, like on the engine block, and then it should show the last 8 of the VIN. It doesn't. Diffs don't have them. None of this stuff has them. Are you saying these wiring harnesses have VINs? I mean, these are brand new from the factory. There's no way they have the VIN on them. So the only reason I really don't want to make this video is because I'm kind of showing everybody what has VINs on it and what doesn't have VINs, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, it's kind of good to know, because there isn't, on the chassis, there is only one stamped VIN number. Unlike 240SXs, which have 2, I think a lot of stuff, Dodge does almost the bare minimum of VIN numbers. On Toyotas, they have like a VIN number on every panel. I think Nissans are the same. But if you get in an accident and you need a brand new panel, none of these aftermarket panels, or not aftermarket, the ones from Dodge that I buy brand new and then paint, none of those have VIN numbers on them. The real point that I'm trying to make with this video, and I hope it's not taken the wrong way, but what's the statute of limitation for one? Because it doesn't seem like there is any, and there definitely is a statute of limitation on every law. I mean, I think you could kill somebody, and if they don't catch you within a certain amount of time, you could have like evade your taxes, and I think you have 7 years. So there has to be a statute of limitation on, and there has to be a better way about it on, if you buy something that wasn't stolen at the time, there has to be a better system, because I know not everybody is honest, but I know there's a lot of people out there that, I mean, everybody surfs Facebook Marketplace, and when stuff pops up and you need it, you buy it. So are you saying that you can't buy anything off of Facebook Marketplace? Like, really, I think people should be concerned about this in a manner of they're not taking cars off the streets for street racing. And sideshows are stupid anyway, but they're using wording to justify them crushing a car that probably didn't have stolen parts on it at all. That's the thing. So, like these seats right here. So I have another Durango Hellcat that I bought from the auction. This one has a salvage title. The other one has a clear title. But I bought a set of seats from a guy off of Facebook Marketplace. The module on the seats have a VIN coded on them, and the guy had the Durango Hellcat there. He just wanted red interior like my Durango Hellcat. The only thing that sucks is these seats don't have the TVs, but these seats right here, I got all 6 of them, or no, all 4 of them. The 2 fronts, the rear, the 3rd row, and then the 2nd row. And he bought a extra 3rd row in red off of eBay. So the thing is on here, you come down here and here's a module, and you know what everybody does? These seats aren't going to have the same VINs as my other Durango Hellcat. My other Durango Hellcat is a complete shell, and I need everything. Well, I actually don't need everything for it. I have a brand new dash and brand new bumper, and I think rear bumper, and a bunch of other stuff from Dodge over there for it. But I needed a set of seats, and buying seats from Dodge is super expensive. And I think it already had black Alcantara and leather seats in it to begin with. The issue is these seats aren't going to match that VIN number. Am I going to drive through Kentucky maybe to maybe go to Mo Party or anything with Holly or any of that stuff, and then get pulled over by the Kentucky police, and then they're like, you know what? We want this car. We don't have one of these. And then the higher ups are like, oh, we want to make an example. This guy was he street racing? No, but we'll just say he was, and we're going to just crush it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that the police and the state were in the right crushing this Dodge Durango Hellcat? And do you think they had the evidence to be able to crush this? Are you afraid that seems like there's no statute of limitation, and it seems like in the state's mind across the country that there is no Fair Right to Repair Act, and that you have to buy all brand new modules for a vehicle that's broken? You can't use used parts, which that voids or that goes against the Fair Right to Repair Act. Do you guys see this concern, or is it just me? Let me know in the comments. If you like these videos, make sure to click that subscribe button, throw a thumbs up, and like always, see you guys next time.